Hi, everybody. This is Carolina with RE Experts Group. We have a very, very special guest with us today. Here we have Natalia Company representative from GMB that they do a whole bunch of new development in the Riviera Maya and Tulum. How are you today, Natalia?
Hi, Carol. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you so much for taking time of your busy day for being with us.
No, thank you. And I'm excited to present Tulum to all those investors and brokers that want to know about the area.
Perfect. Well, please let's just get started. What do you have for us today?
Okay, so I will put on my screen. Just give me 1 second.
Of course.
Okay, perfect. So we are GMB. We are a Gamma Master Broker. So we are developers and we're also master brokers. So we have our own developments, but we also commercialize other people's developments exclusively. Okay. We've been around in the Riviera Maya for 15 years. We have 6 buildings in Playa del Carmen. We have another 7 buildings in Tulum, and we're growing. Okay, so what I want to talk to everyone about today is, like I mentioned before, a little bit about Tulum. Tulum right now is at its growth point. So let me just get started. So when people think of Tulum, this is the first thing that pops up in
Yes.
their screens, right? So, which is the main attraction of Tulum. But again, Tulum has many beautiful features. It's a very special place, and the way it's being developed is also very special in its own way. So I'm excited to talk about this. So I like to start with the Tulum map that we created. I mean, it's not to scale, but it does give you a very good idea of what the different areas are, where the growth is going, and yeah, to get an idea of what it's all about. So Tulum is still a town. It's very small.
Mhm.
So it's practically 3 kilometers with 5 kilometers, so it's still very small.
Right.
And when we look at the map, can you see my mouse?
Yes, we can see your
Okay.
mouse.
Okay, so up here to the right, you come in from Playa del Carmen, from Cancun, and you first thing that you pass are the ruins. Okay, these are the famous ruins of Tulum, the picture that we saw a few moments ago, and then you go straight ahead, and then you hit your first traffic light. Okay, when you go to your left, this is called Avenida Cuba.
Okay.
So for many years, this was the only avenue that would take you to the beach. So
Wow.
that means this avenue is the most important avenue in all of Tulum. Right now, a lot of stores have popped up, a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars. So there's a lot of movement here in this part of town. Okay. So the first part of Tulum, or what first was developed in Tulum, as we go down Avenida Cuba, is everything on the beach. So we have 14 kilometers of beautiful sandy beaches, but they're all made up of boutique hotels.
Okay.
So what is attractive about Tulum is that here we don't have those monster all-inclusives that you're going to find all over the Riviera Maya. I mean, they're beautiful, but it's a totally different concept and for a totally different tourist.
Yes.
Right? All along the beach of Tulum, we have hotel boutiques. For many years, they weren't connected to the electricity. They had generators. So you can imagine these types of hotel boutiques. They're very Bali style,
Yeah.
but in the middle of the jungle and in front of the ocean, right? So, and that was the most attractive part that started to pull all these people to Tulum.
Yeah, like
So for many
like you
years,
mentioned, like a totally different type of tourist, right? Yeah, the
yes,
Americans, most
exactly.
of them are used to this huge all-inclusive, with the restaurants that they know, and Tulum is just for this adventure seeker type tourist.
Exactly. So before Tulum started to become popular, so basically what you would see in these hotels are celebrities from all over the world that would get away from everything. And here there was no paparazzi, there was nothing. So, and these hotel boutiques are very expensive, very nice. So, and we've created something that's called jungle luts. So for these people that want to be in the jungle, but still want that have a little bit of luxury. So
Of course.
that's a little bit about the concept in the hotels that you would find here in Tulum. Okay.
Mhm.
And then in 2016 was when National Geographic named Playa Paraíso, so the beach that is right in front of the ruins, they named it the most beautiful beach in the world. So
Wow.
that is when Tulum started to have this boom of tourism that comes internationally, that started to come into Tulum. So obviously, what we had to do is start building residences and places for these people to stay. So the demand was starting to be really high. And just to give you a little bit about the history of Tulum, so remember we come down this avenue, we go down Avenida Coba. Us and GMB, we have our offices right here, right at the beginning.
Okay.
This area over here is called Huracanes, hurricanes. Horrible name. I hate that name because it gives you an idea. Oh yeah, you remember that there's hurricanes in the area. So, but anyways, you're not gonna forget the name of the area. But here we do have our developments. We have Tuk Tulum, which I'm going to talk about in a while, that it's 4 buildings that we already built. Hacienda Tuk is going to be done in a couple of months. It's 3 beautiful buildings, and we do have a building that is for pre-sale. But what I love about this area, it's on Avenida Coba. So like I mentioned before, you have restaurants and stores. And then right beside our development, we have the biggest supermarket. So the walkability aspect of it is amazing.
That's great.
And people who are from cities appreciate this because location, 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 right? I mean, for
Of course.
investors that are looking for an apartment to use when they go on vacation, but rent it out vacationally, obviously your apartment has to be in a premium location, and obviously it also has to have all the attractive amenities and everything that people are looking for. So being in this area is premium location for anyone that wants to invest, right? And right now we're right on time to still find developments in a reasonable good price, because later on everything else is going to grow and densify, and this being the most premium location, the prices are only going to go up.
And then
Okay.
I have a question for you. So you
Yeah.
are right in Avenida Cova, right?
Yes.
How far is that from the beach, walking wise and driving or bicycle wise?
Okay, so from the traffic light here to the beach, it is 1.8 kilometers. So
Okay.
you would have to calculate that in miles. I'm not sure what miles are in
We'll convert
kilometers.
it later for them. No worries.
But it is very close, meaning if you're gonna walk to the beach, it's probably gonna take you 20 to 25 minutes.
That's
But
not
if
bad.
you're on your bike, it's gonna take you 10 minutes, and if you're on the car in your car, it's gonna take you 5 minutes.
But in
So
Tulum, everybody bikes, right? That's like the norm there.
yeah, everybody bikes, especially in this area that you don't need a car because
Awesome.
you have restaurants and stores and everything close by, the supermarket right next door. You don't need a car unless maybe you would rent a car for just a couple of days if you want to go explore
To
cenotes.
other towns, other beaches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
explore exactly. Explore different areas from Tulum,
Okay.
but if not, you can just bike everywhere, basically.
Great for the environment too.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Awesome.
Um, so okay, so this, like I said, it was Huracanes, and then right next to it is Parque Jaguar that we're gonna talk about in a few minutes because there's
Okay.
a lot of stuff going on in this area. But since we're here, let me talk about the other next premium location that Tulum has.
Yeah.
So you go down towards the beach, and then right in the middle of Avenida Coba, you have this little street that takes you to an area called Aldea Sama. Okay, Aldea Sama is a private investment, meaning 2 different families from the Yucatan Peninsula bought all of this land many years ago when nobody was looking at Tulum. But these people saw the potential of Tulum, so they
Visionary.
went ahead and bought everything. Okay. And then around 2010, they decided to invest in the infrastructure. So that, what does that mean? It's talking about drainage, internet, streets, everything, infrastructure that you need to be able to live there, obviously. So they did that, and then again, they just left it there because again, nobody was looking at Tulum back then.
Yeah.
And then in 2016, like I mentioned before, when Tulum started to have this huge boom, the developers, I mean, the owners of all of this land, they're developers as well, and their family members and all of that. So they decided to start building in this area. And what I love about this area, again, it's a private investment. The streets are well paved. They left a lot of green areas within this residential area. So it's the most exclusive residential area because it's closeness to the beach. Okay.
Nice.
And we do have a development here as well. We've sold many developments here, as you can see, the Paramares that you see here in the Mareas, but these are all sold out.
Okay.
But we do have other developments in this area as well. So again, for vacation rental, this area is very attractive for all these, for investors, obviously, because everything is done infrastructure wise and location. Okay, then we have right underneath Aldea Sama is Aldea Sama Premium, and then down here Selva Sama, which I'm gonna put another map to show you perfectly. But Selva Sama, so I'm going to talk about a little bit about the future of Tulum, Selva Sama. Selva Sama is the future. What is Selva Sama? This is an area where there's going to be a lot of beautiful developments that are being controlled. What does that mean, being controlled? So whoever wants to build in this area, I'm talking about Aldea Sama, Selva Sama. First, if you're a developer, you have to go through these families and for them to approve of the development, kind of like the mafia, through the family.
I like
And
that
then
comparison.
after that, you go to the government and get permits and get all of this, right? So being a private investment, again, they control whatever's going to be built in the area. And Selva Sama has an $80 million investment coming in. And these are international investors, like Faena from Miami.
Oh, wow.
Robert De Niro is going to put his own development there. So what I mean by this is that if international companies are investing in Tulum, what does that mean? They've already done their research. They've already done their due diligence. They've already done all of this to bet on Tulum, basically. So what does that mean for smaller investors like us? It means that if big companies know that there's capital gain to be had or occupancy and all of that, then that leaves me with reassurance that I'm investing in the correct area. Okay.
Exactly. And to get in now while you still can.
Exactly. Well, you're right on time to be able to get premium locations. And then Selva Sama, like I said, there's going to be a lot of new developments, beautiful developments. So imagine kind of like a Bali concept, but with Dubai technology.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So, no, it's going to be amazing. And obviously, the developments that we're going to have here are going to be in price much higher in price. It's going to be worth a lot more per square foot than everything else right now. But the advantage of this as an investor is that everything around Selva Sama, meaning Avenida Coba, Aldea Sama, and this area to the left over here that I'm going to talk about in a second, the capital gain is only going to go up.
Of course.
Because you're right next to it, right? So that is something that is really attractive and very special for the future of Tulum. Okay. Wow. And then we have Avenida Culculcan that opened up 3 years ago. Again, I've been in GMB since 2017, so I've been here quite a while. I grew up here. I was born in Cancun. I grew up here, so I've seen everything grow from zero practically. But when I started in GMB in 2017, this Avenida Culculcan here to the left wasn't open yet. So it was kind of like an urban myth, right?
It's gonna happen one day.
I would tell my clients, I promise it's gonna go, they're gonna open it, like when, I don't know, but
Wow.
soon, I promise. So it happened. They opened up the avenue. And what does that mean for the area? Obviously, for the situation and the cars and everything, there's a lot more movement, than have two avenues that will take you to the beach. You could imagine the traffic that we would have in Avenida Toba, even
Okay.
though it's a short street. The traffic was crazy, but now it has a lot more fluidity to the city that's growing, no? But because Kulkan opened up, then all eyes started to go to this area. Up over here, we have La Veleta,
Mm-hmm.
okay? We have Region 15 over here, and then there's a new area called Region 8,
8.
okay?
Okay.
8. So what we have here, if you go on Google Maps, you could actually see that all of this area has already been traced, and it's more of city blocks. What does that mean? This area over here is not a private investment, so it's up to the government to put in all the infrastructure.
Okay.
When I first started, there was no infrastructure in this area, and there was almost nothing there. But
Right.
today, we do have drainage, and we do have water, and we have, all the infrastructure needs that you would need to have to be able to live in this area. So just to break it down, La Veleta up here, I don't love yet. I like because there is a new street that's over here. It's called the Avenida 6, the 6th
Okay.
Avenue.
Yes.
And in that street, we have a lot of restaurants, and we have bars and boutiques. So it's a very in area, very happening area right now. But the disadvantage that this area has is that it's very mixed. What does that mean? You could have beautiful new buildings, but you still have the chickens and the dogs and,
I know
all of that.
exactly what you mean. Yes, like best of both worlds or both worlds.
So exactly. No, that eventually it's gonna get better, and you won't
Yeah,
have that. But today you still find, there's a lot of people that come from New York and, Paris and all of that do like to see the chickens and the
you're
dogs.
like, I'm in
No,
Mexico. Yay.
but Mexicans don't like it. And you have to invest in an area that everybody wants and likes, right?
Right.
So, I mean, again, La Veleta's nice, but it will get better eventually. And then we have Region 15 over here. So in 2017, there was nothing there. So today we do have a development called Yaxlum, which is beautiful. I think it's one of the most beautiful developments in this area. But there is a catch here, okay? Region 15, there's so many developments right now. And for an investor that is back home and starting to look at Tulum, you're going to get bombarded with all these developments because there's a lot. But that doesn't mean that all developments are good developments in an investment standpoint. Okay. In this area in particular, um, again, it's city blocks. There is no control like Aldea Sama, where you have the families that control everything. But so anybody can purchase land and build. What does that mean? So when you're looking at this area, which is the better price per square meter comparing to the other areas,
Mhm.
most of the streets are not paved yet. So you have these horrible streets. And the reason for that being is that the government doesn't want to invest. Bless you. The government doesn't want to invest in paving the streets because there's so much construction going on. So
Okay.
if they were to do that in a couple of months, again, the streets are going to be horrible. So they're just waiting for
For it to be
the
done.
developers to stop.
Right.
But again, talking about this area specifically, when you're looking at developments, I really recommend you look at developments that have an inside view. What does that mean?
Inside.
So I go to this area, and it really kills me to see developments that have views towards the street and the outside, because right now I mean, the streets are not paved, right? But and there's a lot of vegetation, there's a lot of jungle still, but
Right.
all of that jungle has been sold, all of
It's
it.
gonna be gone.
Okay, exactly. So what does that mean? When you have a development that has views towards the outside, right now it's beautiful. You offer a beautiful unit with green views, but in a month, in a year, they're probably going to put another building right in front of it.
That
So you're losing that essence and that reason why people come to the area, which is to be in the jungle. Okay, so that eliminates like 80% of developments in this area, right? So there's many ways of um of choosing the right development for you. And so this is one of the ways. So again, like Yaxlum, I'm not going to talk about it in depth, but I do want to mention it because I believe it's one of the best developments. It's a whole city block. They've only built 64 apartments in a whole block. There's many developments that in a whole block they put in 300 apartments, which is crazy. But yes, Jack Schulman is very special and very beautiful. So, but we were going to talk about that a little later. Okay. Then if we look up here, when you come in from Playa del Carmen, Cancun, and you go straight ahead, this is the main town of Tulum. So this is the first area that was being built. This is again all the restaurants, shops, stores. It's grown quite a bit. And if they're talking about the center of Tulum, it would be absolutely this area over here. And then you
okay.
go straight ahead, straight. And then if you keep on going, then you go towards Bacalar, Nacahual, Chetumal, all of this, okay?
Okay,
And
perfect.
the tendency of Tulum, its growth right now is going towards the upper part of Coba. There's a lot of residences there. Or, on the left side here, the growth is going that way. But all of these new areas are very far, well, not very far, but yes, considerably farther away from the beach, which
Right.
is the most attractive part of the area.
Selling
I
point.
mean,
Yeah, everybody wants to
Tulum
be
has a
near the
lot. I'm sorry?
know that it's a huge selling part because everybody wants to be near the beach.
Of course, you want to be near all the services, the beach and all of that. I mean, Tulum, what I love again about Tulum is that the beach is not the only thing it offers, right? Tulum has this spirit of wellness, this spirit of meditation, and also you have the Tulum ruins, you have Coba, the Coba ruins were very close by, you have cenotes everywhere.
Much
So
too.
again, it's not like you only go to the beach,
Yeah,
like in
exactly.
different
Just
like
a
in
part.
Cancun. Cancun is beautiful, but it's kind of like a Miami,
Yeah.
kind of a
Yeah,
feel. It's you go to Cancun and you're in the United States.
yeah, like Red
um,
Lobster and Fridays. Yeah.
exactly. And then you have Playa del Carmen, which Playa del Carmen grew. There was a point in time where it like exploded and it wasn't well thought of. But when you go to Playa del Carmen, the only thing that you have is the beach and the Fifth Avenue,
Yeah,
and that's it.
that's
And
true.
that's basically
A
it, right? So Tulum again has a lot more to offer, more
lot more
spiritual,
dynamic.
more exactly. And we've been talking about this, but the type of tourism that comes to Tulum is a high-end tourism because Tulum is not cheap,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Um, but it's people from New York, from LA, from Paris, from big cities that want to get away. And
Yeah.
that's what you have to think about when you purchase, and the intention of the investment is to rent it out vacationally. So location, it has to have this element of being in the jungle, and so forth. Okay. Any other questions about the map so far?
No, I think you explained it really well. Everything that's coming, everything that's already there. So no, I think we got a good understanding so far.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna breeze through everything else. So again, these are a few pictures of what Tulum is all about. The yogi part, also Tulum has many festivals, many festivals, not just the music festivals that we're famous for, but Also art festivals. Art with Me is really important for you to, well, for the investors to look up. Art with Me, that's where this is where they created this beautiful piece of art.
Uh-huh.
Food festivals, vegan festivals, many kinds of festivals. No, the music festivals, which are the most famous this year, we had Afterlife and then the Tomorrowland that they call Core. There were 21,000 people in the festival. I
Wow.
mean, where are they staying, all these people?
Yeah,
You know?
they need
So
to
there's
take
a
time.
lot of people coming into Tulum. And well, the beautiful part of Tulum in the essence, right? And then again, the investment that is coming into the area. I don't know you knew this, but we have a new airport that we just opened up in December. So what does that mean? The Mexican government is bidding on Tulum and they're investing all of their money into this new airport, which opened up and it's beautiful. International flights are being opened as we speak. Then we have Parque Jaguar. This is the park that is right next to where our development is, which is close to the beach, and they're investing in
Gorgeous.
creating
Wow.
beautiful park for people to walk around. So again, you're gonna have the beach, you're gonna have the park, you're gonna have cenotes. So a lot of things to do within Tulum, right? And again, keeping that essence of still being in the jungle. You know, Parque Jaguar is going to be right next to the ruins, so that's a great thing. And also, it's going to be beautiful access to the beach. Then, really quickly, this is Selva Sama that we were talking about, the $80 million investment. But what I want you to see is look at the developments that are here on the sides. So these are the types of developments that we're going to be looking at in within Selva Sama that
Amazing.
$80 million investment. Yes, very it's beautiful, crazy, very
But
futuristic.
modern yet keeping, with the Tulum aesthetic, with the Mayan
Exactly.
aesthetic is gorgeous.
Exactly. These are here are a few more renders. We also have Green School. Forbes already talked about Selva Sama. Green School, which is a beautiful school, kind of like a Waldorf school that they focus more on nature and creating more than just being sitting down, writing tests and all that, right? So really nice. So this is one of our first projects. This is called Arde. This is within Aldea Sama. There's only 23 units. What does that mean? It's a boutique development, which also is very attractive when you want to rent it out vacationally. There's a lot of people that don't want to be in those massive
Right.
developments where there's thousands of people. So this is a boutique development. It obviously has all the amenities that you would need for it to be attractive, which is gym and then elevator. I mentioned the elevator because there's many developments into them that don't have elevators, if you can believe it or not. So the elevator element is very special. You need
Definitely
it
a
in.
plus. Yes.
Yeah. Then there's a rooftop with a rooftop pool with a bar, sky bar. So yeah, there's a lot of beautiful amenities. These are some of the apartments. So we do have penthouses. There's only 3 penthouses available, again, because it's a small
Right.
development. But they're beautiful. The architecture that we've put into it is really special. It comes furnished. So the investors don't have to worry about looking for furniture or anything. So the only thing that would be missing here is decoration, TVs, and then plates and, all that stuff. But it does come equipped. It comes with a full kitchen, full bathroom, closets, and with the furniture. Okay, so like in this area over here, it comes with the sofa, with
Nice.
these chairs, but it doesn't come with, this over here and this in the
Yeah,
walls
but
and
I
all.
mean that's easier than having to go get all the furniture.
Yes. So before I go on, Arde is located in the commercial space of Aldea Sama. I didn't mention this before, but remember this Aldea Sama is a residential area, but within Aldea Sama, there is a commercial space, okay? Where again, there's restaurants, stores, boutiques,
Nice.
bars. So people who are inside Aldea Sama don't necessarily have to leave Aldea Sama just to get a beer, to get water. Again, this specific development has the walkability element
Love
as
it.
well.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
And then we're gonna look at Tuk Origin. This is our baby. We are the developers. And this is on Avenida Cuba. So Tuk is the third stage of our development. So it's 3 phases: Tuk Origin, Tuk Tulum Art Walk, and then Hacienda Tuk. Tuk Tulum Art Walk is already done. Hacienda is going to be done in a couple months. And then we have Origin, which is in pre-sale. Okay. Origin, we wanted to put that element, Bali-esque element in the architecture.
Yeah,
So it's attractive and it's on the main avenue. So everybody is going to see it when they
yeah,
go by. Maybe they're staying somewhere else, and then when they come here and they look at it, oh, let's stay here. It's right next to the supermarket, location-wise, it's the best. On the bottom part of the development, we have commercial spaces that are for rent. But again, you have the supermarket next door. Then underneath your unit, you're probably gonna have a deli or a cafe, or
yeah.
there's many options there. Then, okay, so this is our full development. This is Avenida Cuba here on the left, and then we have
Okay.
Tuk Origin, Tuk Tulum Art Walk, and Hacienda. Tuk Tulum
Okay.
Art Walk, which was the first to be developed. On the bottom floor of all of these buildings is commercial space. So right now we have a gym and we have restaurants, we have a hospital here, we have a bank, we have a lot going on just in this area over here. Here there's an amphitheater that is beautiful that we use to have events. And then we have a hippie market over here. So it's a beautiful area, a lot of movement. And then Hacienda Tuk here at the end, which again is going to be done in a couple months. It has more of a luxurious element to it. The bottom floor, all of the bottom floor has pool. And then we're going to have a restaurant that's going to be a Michelin star a restaurant. So, and each tower has its own element, meaning this tower is like the Zen Tower, where you have people doing yoga and meditation. And this tower over here, you have the artists. So you have people painting and doing sculptures and all this. And then in the third tower over here is it's the biggest pool. So this is where a lot of people will like to come and just chill out, right? So it's a beautiful development. And again, what we have available right now is Tuk Origin, okay, which
Okay.
is in pre-sale.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
So this Tuk Origin, okay, we start with the first amenity that Tuk Origin has, which is on the ground floor, where we're gonna have one of the main pools. This main pool they're calling the beach club because, as you can see, the way it's gonna be designed, it's gonna look exactly like a
Yeah, it
beach.
looks like a beach. Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's not going to be that typical pool that you find everywhere else. The architecture or the design of the pool is made so it looks like the ocean. So it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and have this element of sand
Nice.
where people can chill, right? And over here, these are part of the commercial spaces that we're going to have in the development. Then we have the rooftop pool. The rooftop pool is a circular, well, the building is circular, so the pool on the rooftop is going to have this beautiful, beautiful pool. And we do have penthouse swim ups. What does that mean? We do have 1-bedroom penthouses still available that have this element of swim up. So if you look at the render over here, you have the rooftop of the penthouse, and then you have this private little pool that is connected
Oh,
to the main.
nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Wow.
Nice, because again, when you are looking for a development that the intention is vacation rental, you do have to have these elements that are attractive.
Excellent.
So
Stand out.
little is something that people look for when they come on vacation. And what I particularly love about this, it's not that you have a private jacuzzi within your development that you have to maintain and all of this. In this instance, you have that private pool element that's connected to the main pool. So you just pay your HOAs and that's it,
And they take
right?
care
You
of it.
don't, exactly, you don't have to worry about that. So these are the two units that we have. We have the 1 bedroom and we have the 2 bedroom,
Okay.
okay? And what I also love about this development is that when we designed it, so obviously the next building is going to be better than the other buildings, right? Because you do find new elements to improve the units. It doesn't mean that we have bad developments or bad units, but it only got better. What does
Yeah.
that mean? This area here is very humid, and this is also to take into consideration with the previous development that I showed you in Arde. It also has this. So the elements of the closets and also where the kitchen is they designed it for it to breathe. What does that mean? Here is very humid. So if you leave everything closed, after a while, when you open it, it smells the
Yeah.
musty that. So we've designed the closets and the kitchens for them to breathe. Here it's kind of like, we call it a tejido here in Mexico. In the United States, it would be kind of like a weaving kind of a situation. And in Arte, they did this by putting the wood, leaving spaces between the wood. It's really, really nice. Again, this development comes fully equipped, meaning kitchen, fully stocked kitchen, not stocked in groceries, but with all the equipment, closets, bathroom. This development does not come furnished, but
Okay.
when we get closer to the delivery date, we do offer packages
Okay,
in
nice.
case they want to do it through us. But because we do have a lot of clients that say, you know what, I want to buy my own furniture, I want to decorate it how I want to, we're giving them the option to do so
Yeah,
as
the
well.
freedom.
So that's basically it. I wanted to show you two of our projects so you can have an idea of what we have. Again, we do have many more, but that was going to take us a lot more time, and maybe we'll do it in another moment. But yeah, we do have, like I said, Arde and Took. And what I didn't mention, which is important again before we finish up, is that the finishes are very high end, and also the air conditioning, as you maybe you can see on this render, there is the air conditioning is not the typical mini split that you would find on the wall, mounted on the wall, that needs to have maintenance every 6 months. But we decided to invest in an air conditioning called fan and coil, which are, they look like central air conditionings because they're hidden within the wall, but
Nice.
each section of the apartment has its own control. So it's low in maintenance. It doesn't need every 6 months, it's every couple of years you need to do maintenance. And also it saves money in the electric bill, which is really
Oh,
nice.
that's
And
great.
it's aesthetically nice. It's within the wall.
Oh my gosh,
So
no, I love that. And that's super important, like in Tulum. I mean, you definitely
yeah,
need
you
some
know
sort of
the
AC.
aesthetics of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
So
Well, I do have a few questions for you, a couple of questions. Just if you can just tell me a little bit of the capital gains that you have seen in the area in the last few years. And is Tulum at its height or it's still like a lot more to go?
So the capital gain, the normal capital gain that you would find here in the last few years, it's probably from 6 to 7% a year. Okay. But now that the airport opened up, and I didn't mention this, we also have the Tren Maya, the Mayan train. That's another huge investment that the government has made to bring in a lot of tourism. Those elements in the Jaguar Park and all of these elements of investment from that come from the government, that also elevates the capital gain in the next few years. So if right now it's a 6 to 7%, it's probably going to be an 8 to 9% in the
Right.
next few years. And right now, I don't believe we've hit that point. We're still going up. the hill. You know, when we hit that hilltop is when Selva Sama is done, when there's a lot more developments everywhere. That's when we're going to hit that point. So since we're going up that hill, that's when talking about having the opportunity, because once we're up there, then the prices are not going to be the same as what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, no, yeah, those are great news for our investors because I mean they can still get in now and get a lot of big
Exactly.
their bought. I've been seeing prices, I mean, and they are, I believe they're still accessible and you're getting a lot of, luxury and very good materials, great locations, great amenities. So those are great news. And then another question for our investors, why is it a great idea to and interesting to invest in Tulum? I know this whole call has been about that, but if you could summarize it in a nutshell, why should our investors should invest in Tulum?
Okay, so Tulum, like I said, it's at its growth point, and right now there's a lot of investment worldwide, not just from our government, but from internationally coming into the area. What does that mean for the area? It's gonna give you great capital gain for the investors that invest before all of this is done, right? So we have the airport, Tren Maya, and it's still a town right now. So whenever an area becomes a city, which eventually Tulum is going to become a city, then obviously the opportunity is not the same as to go in when it first starts than when it's, you know, a few more years down the line. So again, that's what I believe the opportunity, and also not just the investment side point, not just coming in at the beginning, but the essence of Tulum and the attractiveness that Tulum has worldwide. We don't find it anywhere else. So again, why Tulum? Right now, it's being invested on anywhere you look at it, and the element and the concept that Tulum has is also very unique.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Natalia. You are a wealth of knowledge. It has been great speaking to you. And I just wanted to mention to the people, seeing this webinar, please follow Real Estate Experts Group on all of our social media. If you like these type of videos where you learn about, very specific cities that we're selling, please subscribe to our channel. And if you want to buy or sell in Tulum and Riviera Maya, please contact us. And thank you so much, Natalia. We will see you on the next one so you can tell us about the rest of your amazing developments.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a great one.